Hey Rachel, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you, Kyle?
I'm great, thanks. Yeah.
So with Andor, we're obviously on a journey where the rebellion hasn't formed yet, but the Empire is also on the rise. And your character is really interesting to me because he's kind of in charge of what I would label the people who we would make fun of in the Empire. Like those are the guys who would have run into a wall in a stormtrooper helmet in the original trilogy, but your character is kind of in charge of them, and he is outwardly frustrated by them a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to know, like, what was your input into this character, and kind of like how did you make him into what we see on screen versus what was already written on paper for him as a leader?
Well, Tony Tony Gilroy had just written a really wonderful, fully fleshed out 3D character that was struggling to figure out who he was. He's as you say, the rebellion is kind of at its genesis, and the empire is established, but really at the genesis of what we meet in Rogue One and then A New Hope. And all of these characters, but especially Cyril, are just at the same point, trying to figure out who they are. And Cyril rests in that real, like, pre-adolescent, like, I'm kind of acting out. I have really high standards. I've got like no sense of self-worth. So I'm seeking it through a fascist structure of the empire, and like controlling how I dress, and being really disappointed with the lack of expertise like around me. And I, yeah, really just worked on creating that with Tony. Some of it was on the page, and then we got into deeper chats about his upbringing. And Tony thought it would be a cool idea to, introduce you to his mother. And I was like, this is like not Star Wars. This is amazing. Like, when do you ever get to understand where a kind of antagonist villain comes from and meet their parents? And then we fleshed out like what that would have been like how you can understand why he is the way that he is, why he's so rigid, why he comes from a place of lack, why he is desperate for approval and validation, and is lacking in certain empathetic capabilities within himself. Um, and yeah, so it was a real collaboration with Tony. He gave a lot of freedom. He wouldn't. I was a really talented director that says, there is a really talented director that says, just enough, but not too much. And I asked him, like, where's Cyril going to end up? We got 5 years to get through, and I need to start sowing the seeds early. And he was like, I don't know. Like, he could go here, he could go there. It's like, oh wow, that's awesome. So sit in not knowing, sit in this kind of like this soup of like Cyril trying to figure it out and having doubts and having, real humanity, you know?
Yeah, I can't wait to see more of him. I hope he continues to just scream at people because that was I kept wanting to quote it out loud to people. I loved it very much. But that's all my time. So thank you so much for talking with me today.
Thanks, Rachel.
Nice meeting you.